turn the clock back to the swinging 60s in Aidensfield. We have been behind the scenes to find out.
Today, we're behind the scenes for an exclusive look at the Christmas special.
Stand by. Action. Now then, Miss Weston.
Claude, what's happened to my goose?
Even though it's still October everywhere else, Aidensfield's full of the festive spirit.
Where is the wise man?
Everyone's getting in on the act, even the kids at the village school.
I think that just about fits, isn't it?
Heartbeat set in the 60s when everyone was wearing Mary Quant and Bieber. Recreating that looks very important, but how many of the clothes are originals?
The stuff in the 60s was made in such a shabby way. I mean, the fabric was rubbish, the sewing was rubbish, and the dye was rubbish. We take a little bit of a liberty in that maybe the skirts are shorter because that's what people think happened in the 60s. I mean, Joe's skirts are maybe a bit shorter than a schoolmistress in 1966 would have worn. But it's to create a feel for the period.
It happens to be true.
We've all heard of the swinging 60s, and it's these sounds that make Heartbeat such a big hit.
I think most people, it's the nostalgia of it, really. They actually come up and say, we remember when that track was out in the 60s, and they can remember where they were. It's very easy, you know, when Nick's riding the bike over the moors, it looks very good. But it's the music that actually makes it and says, that's 60s, do you remember it?
This is the White Elephant, where we keep all the props that are mainly used on the shoot. This is maybe our most valuable. We put these signs out at the various junctions where we film, and if we're unlucky, they'll be nicked within minutes.
And for once, Aidensfield's artful dodger's not to blame. Did you know that Greengrass hasn't just got one, but he has two stand-ins?
I have Joe as a stand-in. I also have Dinny Powell, who's my stuntman as well, because if I have to do anything really dangerous, Joe doesn't do that. Joe does the standing in, which means it's a boring job in many ways, because, you know, he has to do it about 10 or 15 times, and I do it the once.
We mustn't forget his partner in crime, the real star of the show.
Alfred here is a real star in his own right. You know, he's part of the crew altogether. Because anything we ask him to do, you know, we say to the owner of Tramp, would you do this, would you do that, and she makes him do it.
They are probably the nicest group of people I've ever worked with. In fact, there's only one troublemaker, and you're talking to him. This is the first assistant, and he's a pain in the
Thank you, Bill. Thank you very much indeed. Sorry, Debbie.
It's amazing to see how it's all put together, and there they are. It's Christmas for them.
It's wonderful.
Already?
It's Christmas every day here, isn't it?
It is indeed. And here's a look at what's coming up for the rest of this Heartbeat week on GMTV.
Heartbeat, why do you miss when my baby